If a woman doesn't notice your absence, it's often because she never truly valued your presence. That's a hard truth most guys don't want to hear but definitely need to understand. When a woman takes you for granted, it usually means she's grown accustomed to having constant access to your time, energy, and attention without giving much back in return. When that happens, you lose your impact. You become background noise, familiar, predictable, and easy to ignore. But here's the good news. You can change that dynamic. You can shift from being overlooked to being missed. It's not about playing games, begging, or trying to convince her you're worth it. It's about resetting the balance by changing how you show up and how you pull back. Most guys make the mistake of doubling down when they feel a woman pulling away. They become more available and try harder, but that only makes things worse. What makes a woman start missing you is when she genuinely feels your absence and begins to think about you, not when you're chasing or hoping to be noticed again. Stop giving her unlimited access because one of the quickest ways to lose respect and interest is by making yourself too available. When she knows she can get your attention anytime on her terms, that attention loses its value and stops feeling special. It becomes expected, and once it's expected, it's no longer appreciated. This isn't about her disrespecting you or hating you, it's about her getting used to you always being there, always texting first, always answering no matter how she treats you. When you never require her to treat you like a priority, she stops seeing you as one. Think of the guy who messaged his girl every morning without fail, good morning texts, long replies even when she took hours or days to respond. Over time, she gave short answers, then stopped initiating altogether. Still, he kept showing up until one day she said, "I just don't feel that spark anymore." The truth is, the spark didn't disappear. It faded because she never had to earn his presence. It was always there. When you remove that constant access, something changes. You stop being background noise. You create space, and she starts to feel the difference between when you're present and when you're not. That's when the missing starts. This isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about creating balance. You're not cutting her off. You're simply not giving more than what's being returned. You stop texting just to get a reply. You stop jumping at every chance to talk. You stop acting like she's the center of your world when she's not treating you like you matter. It's not personal, it's self-respect. When you give less access, you become less predictable and less routine, which makes you more interesting. Again, the moment she realizes your attention isn't guaranteed, she starts paying closer attention. She wonders what changed. That curiosity is the first spark of her missing you. You don't have to announce anything or explain why you're pulling back. Just stop giving what isn't appreciated. Protect your time, protect your energy, and let her feel the absence she created by not valuing what she had. Silence often hits harder than words. When things start slipping between you and a woman when she's not texting back, not showing interest, or treating you like an afterthought, your first instinct might be to speak up. Explain how you feel, ask what's wrong, or seek closure. But here's what you need to understand. Silence is often louder than any speech you could give. Many guys believe they can win respect back by saying the right things or convincing her to care again. But when you talk too much, explain too much, or beg for answers, it actually works against you. You're giving more attention to someone who's already tuning you out, and that makes you look like you're trying to earn something you should have never had to fight for in the first place. Silence shifts the energy. When you stop texting, stop showing up in her notifications, stop chasing moments that aren't returned, that silence becomes noticeable. She may not react immediately, but she'll feel it because now there's a void, a break in the pattern, and people notice breaks in patterns. Silence protects your pride. It keeps you from begging, from over-explaining, from looking desperate. It shows you've stepped back not out of anger, but because you're done making noise where it's not appreciated. It also gives her space to process. When a woman feels you're always there, always reaching out, always keeping the line open, she doesn't have to think about you. But when you go quiet, really quiet, she might start wondering, checking, and if any interest is left, your silence brings it out faster than words ever could. This isn't playing games. It's choosing not to over-explain your value. If she couldn't see it when you were consistent and available, repeating it won't help. Let the quiet speak for you. Men who understand the power of silence know when to stop chasing and start observing. If she's into you, she'll notice your absence. If she's not, your silence saves you from wasting more time and energy. Silence is clarity. It draws the line and often wakes her up. Now, detaching emotionally, not just physically, is key. It's easy to stop texting or showing up, but if you're still thinking about her constantly, checking her social media, wondering what she's doing, or hoping she reaches out, you haven't truly pulled back. You've only gone silent on the outside while still holding on inside. That emotional attachment keeps you stuck. Detachment isn't pretending you don't care. It's about regaining control over your thoughts and feelings. It's the difference between doing nothing while obsessing over her and genuinely shifting your focus back to yourself. That's where your power comes from. If you want her to feel your absence, you have to create it not just in conversation, but in energy. Women sense this. When a guy says he's dumb but still likes posts, replies to stories, or keeps tabs in the background, she knows he hasn't moved on, and that doesn't make her miss him. It makes her feel like she still controls the situation. Real detachment creates a vacuum, a break in connection long enough for her to feel the shift, reflect, wonder, and eventually miss you if there's anything left to miss. Emotional detachment takes discipline and honesty. You must admit when you're still holding on and stop feeding the habit of checking on her or replaying moments in your head. You need to redirect your energy toward your own life, your goals, your growth, and your peace, not as a trick to get her back, but because it's the only way to truly reset your value in her eyes and your own. The longer you stay emotionally tied to someone who doesn't value you, the more you lose yourself, and when you lose yourself, you lose your ability to lead, attract, and command respect. Detachment isn't cold, it's powerful. It allows you to rebuild your mindset and step back into your worth. Whether she notices or comes back doesn't matter as much as you taking back control of where your mind goes. When you detach fully, you stop chasing closure, stop hoping for a message, stop needing her attention to feel better, and that's when you start moving forward. And ironically, that's often when she's most likely to notice you're really gone. When a woman starts taking you for granted, it usually means the power in your relationship has shifted too far in her favor. She knows you'll always show up, wait, and give no matter what she does, and the more predictable that becomes, the less effort she feels she needs to put in return. To make her start missing you, you have to reset that balance by shifting the energy back towards you. Power in any relationship doesn't come from controlling the other person. It comes from controlling yourself. When you stop responding to crumbs of attention, stop rewarding half effort, and stop acting like she's the prize you're chasing, that shift is felt. She notices. The dynamic changes. This doesn't mean being cold or rude. It means your time, attention, and energy now come with standards. If she wants access to you again, it won't be automatic. It has to be earned, just like you tried to earn hers. Many guys think stepping back will make her forget them, but the truth is, when you take your energy away, the absence is louder than any words you could say. If she was used to all the attention and now it's gone, she'll start reflecting, asking herself questions like, why isn't he chasing? Why doesn't he care? Did I lose him? That mental shift is powerful. It flips the script. The key is consistency. You can't pull back one day then reach out the next because of emotions. To make her feel that shift in power, you need to stand firm, stick to your new standards, and let her sit with the distance. Let her feel what it's like not to be the center of your world. This isn't about ego. It's about balance. She doesn't need to feel like you don't care at all. She needs to know you care more about yourself than proving something to her. That resets the connection's tone. If she doesn't respond, that tells you everything. You've regained control, and now you decide if it's worth reconnecting. Once she feels your energy isn't guaranteed, that's when the missing begins. That's when she realizes the power has shifted. Now, don't try to prove your worth. One of the biggest mistakes men make when feeling taken for granted is trying harder to prove themselves, loving more, missing more, chasing more, thinking that will make her see what she's losing. But that only creates pressure and pushes her further away. There was a guy who got ghosted, and instead of giving space, he sent a long message explaining how much he cared and how great they were. She never responded because he cared too much, and too visibly when she had already checked out. That energy doesn't pull anyone back in. It confirms their decision to step away. You don't need to prove anything. If you showed up with genuine effort, honesty, and consistency, you already made your value clear. If she didn't recognize it, trying harder won't fix that. It only makes you look like you don't believe in your worth without her validation. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you regain your power. You stop chasing and start observing. You stop needing her to see it and start acting like a man who only offers energy where it's returned. Let your silence prove your point. Let your absence speak louder than words. Let her notice the difference between your presence and the empty space you leave behind. If she doesn't notice or care, your answer is clear. But if she does, it will hit her harder than anything you could say. When a woman senses a man no longer needs to be noticed, that's when she pays attention again, not because he begged, but because he walked away without needing a reaction. This isn't bitterness, it's knowing your worth. If someone can't see your value, you won't keep putting it on display like a salesman hoping to close a deal. Value doesn't chase. It stands still long enough for the other person to realize what they lost. Number 6, show growth without explaining it. When you've been taken for granted, it's tempting to prove you've changed. Maybe you start hitting the gym, leveling up your mindset or focusing on your goals, and then you want her to see it. You might think if she just knew how much you've improved, she'd come back. But here's what you need to understand. Real growth doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be seen on her time, not yours. The more you talk about how much better you've become, the more it sounds like you're trying to sell her on. And that comes off as performative even if your intentions are good. True growth is quiet. It doesn't chase validation. It just shows up differently and people notice. This is especially important if you want her to miss you. When she sees you've leveled up and you're not throwing it in her face, she starts wondering. She compares who you were to who you are now, asking herself, why isn't he showing off? Why does he seem different but doesn't need me to acknowledge it? That's the effect of silent confidence. You let your actions speak without needing recognition, and that confidence draws people back, not desperation for approval or long messages explaining how far you've come. If you're truly growing, don't make it about her. Make it about you. Get sharper, get stronger, move smarter. Whether she sees it or not shouldn't change your momentum. The right kind of growth is never temporary, it becomes your new standard. With or without her attention. This is where many men fall off. They only improve when trying to get someone back, and when it doesn't happen quickly, they lose motivation and return to old habits. That's not real growth, it's emotional reaction. Real growth sticks because it's about becoming someone you respect, operating at a level that doesn't require anyone else to notice. Ironically, that's when people start noticing. When she sees you've changed, not for her, not for attention or validation, that change lands differently. It hits quiet but powerful, making her think and triggering that feeling of loss. So don't announce it. Don't post it to get a reaction. Don't make it part of a comeback. Just live it. Let her see it when she least expects it, and let her feel the difference without you ever saying a word. Number 7, let her come to you or let her go. One of the hardest things for many men is simply stepping back, not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid. Afraid that if they stop reaching out, she'll forget about them. Afraid that if they don't chase, it's over. For good, but here's the truth. If she doesn't come back on her own, she was never really yours to begin with. This is where real honesty comes in. If you've been the one always trying, always checking in, always hoping she'll come around, what has that gotten you? More connection or more silence? More love or more confusion? Chasing a woman who's not giving you anything in return is a one-way road to frustration and low self-worth. And if you've already pulled back, gone silent, and shown growth, then your job is done. It's on her now. She either notices and steps forward or she doesn't. And if she doesn't, it's your responsibility to let go, not emotionally hang around, not keep one eye on her page, not wait for a sign, but let go. Fully, this is where many guys mess up. They make progress but keep waiting in the background. That's not strength. That's indecision. If you're serious about getting your value back, you've got to walk like someone who means it, not fake it, not pause and glance back every 5 steps mean it. And yeah, maybe she won't come back. Maybe she never realized what she lost. That's part of the deal. But the flip side is if she does feel the shift and reaches out, it means something real. It means she felt your absence. It means your silence, your growth, your detachment actually made an impact. But that can't happen if you're still clinging to the idea of what could happen. Here's the wake-up call if you're always ready. To respond, always on standby, you haven't let go, you've just paused the chase. That's not power, that's waiting. Let her come to you on her own with real energy, not guilt or confusion. And if she doesn't, don't make excuses for it, accept it. Then focus on becoming the kind of man who never has to beg to be valued again. If you've done the work, the only move left is to let her decide. And if she doesn't show up, you walk forward with or without her. At some point, every man has to decide if he wants to keep chasing someone who's not choosing him or start choosing himself. That shift isn't easy. It takes discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to stop doing what's familiar, even when it's uncomfortable. But the truth is, if a woman doesn't feel your absence, it's because your presence was too easy to get, and that has to change. Everything we covered here isn't about playing games or manipulating her emotions. It's about regaining your value, not just in her eyes, but in your own. When you stop giving your energy away freely, when you show growth without needing. Applause when you detach and let her come to you or let her go, you show that you're not afraid to walk with self-respect. And whether she misses you or not, you've already won by choosing that path. Now I want to hear from you. Have you been through this? Have you ever felt taken for granted? How did you handle it? What part of this hit you the hardest? Drop your experience in the comments. I read what you post, and I'll be jumping in down there. This isn't just about content, it's a space for men to grow together. You've got more power than you think. Use it wisely and don't waste it on someone who needs to lose you just to notice you.